Hi everyone, it's Ben here again from exercise.co.uk. So today we are diving straight into the topic of overtraining, which is probably not a common issue for a lot of people. Overtraining is the adverse of undertraining. It's pushing your body to its absolute extremities, and there can be really detrimental effects to exercising too much. So you can have, like everything in life, too much of a good thing, and even exercise is prone to that as well. So we do recommend obviously getting your exercise in, but there are healthy ways to go about it, and sometimes it can be with all of the best intentions, but you can actually be doing detriment to your body by putting almost too much effort into your exercise and not seeing the results because you're pushing yourself too far and not giving your body the time that it needs to rest, recuperate, and also your mind as well, to come in with a fresh attitude every time you come into your workouts and really getting the most out of every workout that comes. So we've got 4 common symptoms that occur from overtraining to help try and pinpoint when you can be susceptible to it, and you might even not realize that you're susceptible to it, but one of these points might highlight that actually you think, oh, I am overtraining and I am actually suffering from it as well. So we'll whiz through these 4 common symptoms of overtraining. The first one is a pretty obvious one to come across, which is injuries, aches and pains. This can be not actually like huge pains as well. It can be smaller aches and niggles as well that you may be thinking are coming from other areas. Possibly you're sat at a desk for a large part of the day or week, as a lot of us are now as well, and you think that it might be coming from there, but it could actually be coming from your training, and your aches are coming there because your body doesn't have the time that it needs to rest and recuperate before you're going straight into another workout and putting stress on the muscles and the joints that do need time to rest and recuperate. So we do always recommend generally giving your muscles 48 hours to rest and recover so that they feel fresh every time you go into a new workout, or at least stretching and cooling down and doing preventative measures to stop your body seizing and aching and tightening as much as it would as well. So things like massage therapy can also be really good. So that's quite an obvious one, but one that you should just be mindful of, the small niggles and small tweaks that can be early signs of oncoming overtraining, just telling you that you might need to rein things in a little bit because you may be pushing yourself too far at the moment. Second up is hitting plateaus or performance issues. So this can be a major point of frustration for a lot of people, particularly from a performance perspective, when you're really putting monumental amounts of effort into your training, but you're not reaping the results for some unbeknown reason to you. You're not reaping the performance issues that you'd expect to see and the progress that you'd expect to see as a byproduct of your training, which can be infuriating because you feel like, I'm training so hard to make as much progress as I can, and it's still not happening for me, and it almost feels like the more effort you put in, the less progress you make. And this can come down to overtraining again. It can be because your muscles aren't having adequate time to rest and recuperate, so they don't have time to re-strengthen every time you go into it, which is where the improvements in performance come. So you'll start to pick up that rest is the recurring topic that obviously comes up throughout this article, which is the best antidote to overtraining, but it is absolutely pivotal, and you will help see spikes in performance issues by actually reining in your training a little bit if you feel like you've been pushing yourself quite hard consistently for quite a bit of time. And plateaus are a part of that as well. As your body and your muscles become more familiar and that muscle memory kicks in there, they do become familiar with those particular movements, and you can get yourself stuck in a rut doing the same particular type of training, and that's when your muscles really start to become more and more efficient, but they also stagnate as well, which is where you start to see those slumps in performance issues as well. So refreshing your training and bringing in that rest will help lift the plateaus and also your performance issues in line with that as well. Layering on top of that is point number 3, which comes into fatigue, restlessness and irritability. So this is kind of looking at the mental aspects of what overtraining can do from you, because you're also putting so much mental effort into training so regular that will take its toll. And fatigue, which is going to happen because of possibly the increased calorie surplus demand that your body requires, and just the general demand from the training, you are going to suffer from muscular, physical fatigue and mental fatigue as well, from the drain of possibly keeping yourself motivated every morning or evening to train and to exercise. That all takes effort and mental drain that are resources you might not realize that your exercise is actually pulling on. So it's really important to have those days where you don't have to think, I've got to gear myself up to exercise and to train. You also need the time to let your mind settle, because a byproduct of that is where the restlessness and irritability comes in. And with the frustration from the past 2 points as well, it can lead to quite a negative attitude in your mind towards training, and lead to a little bit of almost resentment towards your training because it's not going in the direction that you like, which leads on to point number 4, which is the lack of motivation there, which is going to be absolutely crucial, of course, to your long-term progress, but lack of motivation can be a really hard thing to bring back. Once you lose it, you cannot just bring your motivation back and reinvigorate that enthusiasm. So preventative measures are a really good way to make sure that you stay motivated. So having those rest days there almost allows you to look forward to the next time a workout comes along, as opposed to it being every single day. It breaks the monotony if you have a rest and fires you up for the next time a workout does come along. So motivation can surprisingly take a big impact when you're training every single day. It is a little bit relentless. So it is almost abusing your body through exercise, and your muscles will suffer as a byproduct of that, and it can produce some long-term damage, particularly to joints, things like arthritis, because your joints are getting repetitively strained, so there can be long-term damaging effects there, and muscular effects as well. So it's always best just to consult a fitness expert or a physician, just to help pinpoint those and to direct you and consult you on exactly how you should be training. But a simple antidote to that, again, is just to make sure you fit in those rest days at least once or twice a week as a minimum, in line with that regular exercise as well, and that will strike a nice healthy balance there, reinvigorate your mental energy for it, and your body and how it performs as well. So we hope you found that useful, and you might be aware that you're now possibly overtraining a little bit and actually being a little bit too enthusiastic with your exercise than you actually realized. But don't worry, it's never a bad thing to be enthusiastic about exercise in any way, shape or form, but just rein in those things and have a little bit of rest, and your body will feel so much better for it as well. So don't forget to like, follow, share and subscribe, and we'll be back with more content very soon for you. Thank you.